Hey yo everybody, my name is Waz and welcome to Star Citizen, where in today's video we're doing a comparison on the Freelancer Max and the Zeus MKII CL. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first things we're going to be covering are the weapons, shields, and the hull strength of each ship. The Freelancer Max has 4 size 3 guns on it. 2 size 3s on the turret on the rear of the ship. In terms of missiles, it has 4 size 3s and 4 size 2s, which is actually a pretty decent missile payload for a hull-end ship. In terms of shields, the Freelancer Max has 3 size 2 shield generators. The stock form, it's putting out 13,290 bubble shield. In its stock form, it puts out 1,161 DPS for the stock weapons on the front, which are Omni Skies. For the turret at the back, it puts out 582 DPS, which is 2 Panther repeaters. The Zeus CL has 2 size 4 guns on the nose for the pilot, and 2 size 3 Panther repeaters for the turret. Is it a remote turret? Why the pilot can't control it, I don't know. The nose has 2 size 4 Omni Skies on it. In terms of a missile payload, this thing has 4 size 2 missiles. In terms of shields, the Zeus has 3 size 2 shield generators, just like the Freelancer Max. When it comes to the terms of ship HP, the Freelancer Max has 21,300 health versus the Zeus's 32,000 health. So while yes, the Zeus has much less pilot DPS versus the Freelancer Max, it has much more health than the Freelancer Max, so it can take more of a beating. Now when it comes to maneuverability, they both feel relatively the same. There are moments where the Freelancer Max felt nicer to fly. There were moments where the Zeus felt nicer to fly. I took them both out to do some couple of contracts to see how they fought, and well, funnily enough, the Freelancer Max fared better. I suppose that's no surprise considering it has more pilot DPS than the Zeus does. The Freelancer Max was able to take him out without the shields ever going down, while the Zeus actually ended up losing its shields. I had to go into NAF mode, use missiles to take out the targets. Now the ships are going to do much better against larger targets, but even then they're not really designed for combat, so I wouldn't recommend using it for that purpose. Now let's go check out the interior of each ship. They both have 2 entrances. You got the ladder side entrance on the Freelancer Max and the rear entrance, which is the cargo bay, versus the ladder underneath the Zeus and the rear ramp to the cargo bay. And when you enter through the side of the Freelancer Max here, the first thing you're going to see is the horrendous beds. I mean, look at that comfort. You can feel the steel bars as you lay down. Open this door here, you got a small little kitchenette where you can, I guess, get drinks. I mean, there's cups right there. There's towels at the bottom. I don't know when they're going to make that usable. Then you got the bathroom across from here. It's the smallest bathroom, man. I could not use this bathroom. I mean, you have an option to close the door, but I don't trust it. I mean, there's just like no space. My knees would be against it. You can't even open the toilet in this. Then up front, naturally, you got 4 seats for a crew of 4, which I don't quite understand. Really, reality is you can get away with having 3. You know, 1 for the turret, 2 for the front, co-pilot, and a pilot seat. Even then, you don't even really need a co-pilot because he doesn't do anything. I mean, he doesn't operate any of the systems, really. The pilot does most of the work here. The back 2 seats have no control whatsoever. The screens don't light up. Nothing really happens. In terms of the Zeus, right to the bottom to this ladder here, which I actually really like this entrance. It's really nice. And you got a much larger crew space here. We got the kitchenette. You know, it's got a little table you can eat at with a window to look out of, even though when you're sitting down, you can't really see out the window. If you have nice terrain to look at, it's not an option when you're sitting down here. You got the world's most shallow sink right here. Be careful and not leave that on too long. You got a little fridge here you can put stuff in. Then across the hallway from the kitchenette, you have the crew quarters. You got 3 storage lockers right here and 3 beds along with a very large shelf. Right here you got component access, and then you got the suit lockers right here along with the airlock to the left. More component access, a weapon rack, which actually holds up this freaking, what do you call them? Scourge rifles or Scourge railguns? Yeah, they can hold this. This can actually hold that. This is amazing. There's something that the other ship lacks, which if you didn't notice, the Freelancer doesn't have internal storage. So you can't store anything on there. You're going to have to bring on a couple of SCUs of store all in order to even get any personal items on board. If there is internal storage, I'm not aware of it. Freelancer Max also does not have a weapon rack like this one does. Here is the bridge. To the left, you got the gunner seat. To the right, you got the tractor beam seat, which is the co-pilot seat. This operates the tractor beam in the very back of the ship, and right here is the pilot seat, which actually gives you a really nice view. Now let's talk about what you guys really came here for, the cargo capacities and the grid. In this case, we're going to start with the Zeus's cargo bay. You got a fairly narrow ramp. I only point that out because it's much more narrow than the... Don't mind the body, don't worry about the body. We're just gonna take that and just put it out there. Yeah, don't worry about it. The cargo bay entrance is a little more narrow than the actual cargo grid. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that. I'm not going to ask any questions, although I will point out, if you look at this clip here, it is an absolute pain in the ass to work with. I had so much trouble getting this filled to the brim, but with this grid, you can actually manage to fit 2 32 SCU containers, 16 2 SCU containers, and I think it was 8 4 SCUs on the top of the 32s. It's 3 high. Even with the 4 SCU containers, it was an absolute pain in the ass because of how low this is. The cargo grid's extremely tight on this ship, and when it's full, you cannot go through the back. You have to go around and go through the front, through the ladder entrance. Now, in terms of the Freelancer Max, it's actually quite nice, I'm not gonna lie. If I had to choose between the two, I'm gonna be honest here, I'm probably gonna choose the Freelancer Max. The grid is very straightforward. It's not the easiest, but it's not the hardest. Like, you can, just like the other one, you can stick 2 size 32 containers back here. Now, the only thing I don't like about this one is there's the cargo grids right here. This room fits 6 2 SCU containers all the way to the ceiling. This area fits 2 32s, 6 2 SCU, and I want to say 8 4 SCU. The only thing that makes loading at the very top of those 32 SCU containers is this turret right here. It does block it a little bit, and it does get in the way. It was a lot worse in the past, so I can't complain, but it's still not easy to work with, but it's significantly easier to work with than the Zeus's cargo grid. What's really nice about the Freelancer Max's cargo bay is you can actually fit an Ursa back here. Ursa Medevac, Nursa, you name it. This is the smallest vehicle you can get that can hold an Ursa or an Ursa. Versus the Zeus, the entrance only allows for something like a Cyclone or a Rock. So this would be great for rock mining, or if you want to use a Cyclone, this would be a great vehicle to use. But you cannot fit an Ursa. The Ursa is too tall and too wide. I feel like they intentionally designed the entrance for that purpose to make it difficult to fit an Ursa back here. Although, if you do shut the wheels off, you can fit it back here. Alright, one last thing to cover. Speed. The Freelancer Max does 195 in SCM and 1025 in nav mode, versus the Zeus, which does 200 in SCM and 1000 in nav mode. So if you're stuck in some kind of fight and you're trying to get out of there as fast as you can, the Freelancer Max will get you out of there a little faster, but it's not really that much of a difference. It's negligible, so you can just choose either. I mean, your reality is you don't want to get in a fight with either one of these ships. They're both not really that great for it. Now, for the pilot and for a turret, this ship will definitely defend itself better. It's got 6 total guns. It's got the 4 for the pilot, 4 size 3s, and then the 2 size 3s on the back. Which actually, let's take a look at that. I've never actually been in that turret before. Okay, it's actually not the worst view I've ever seen. It's not bad. I mean, you're not gonna have much luck shooting out the front because, well, it won't let you shoot when you aim that low. Everywhere else around you is not the worst thing, although you are limited. You can't look up that high. The Zeus doesn't really have that issue on the bottom of the ship. You can aim wherever on the bottom. It is a remote turret, so that's to be expected. Downfall with the Zeus is only on the bottom. Now, if I'm being honest, the Freelancer Max is better. Like, there's nothing against the Zeus. The Zeus is an absolutely beautiful ship. It's fun to fly, but in terms of what you can get and how well and easy it is to work with, this ship absolutely takes the cake. The cargo grid's easier to work with. I mean, even the 2 SCU containers are not the worst thing to get in there. When you pick them up, go ahead and back them in when you're carrying them with the tractor beam, and you can put it on the grid. It's not that hard. Although 12 SCU is going to be in there. But yeah, between the two, I would definitely take this over the Zeus. If you want to buy this thing, you can buy it at New Deal over at Lowerville for $4.2 million. It can also be rented if you really just want to try it out before you decide to buy it, see how you like it. The Zeus is sold at also a New Deal at Lowerville for $6.8 million. So it's much higher than a Freelancer Max. It's not as easy to work with when in terms of cargo. Although it does have one advantage, that rear tractor beam. That rear tractor beam can actually be used in armistice zones. So if you want to pick up some cargo that's sitting around an armistice zone, you can use that rear tractor beam. It's nice. Well, that is all the time I got for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Crash into that like button. Probably didn't know to do that. If you'd like to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to keep up to date with all my videos. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Deuces.